Good morning, YouTube. Mark from the shop in Northeast Indiana, in front of the workbench with the stone grinding wheel needing some attention. Just want to talk. This is a little bit different. It's not even part of the series, I don't think, but just want to have a little vlog chat. I'm really getting disappointed with, you go into different stores, whether they're hardware stores or specialty stores, and it just seems like a lack of overall knowledge with the employees of these stores. Yesterday I went to a local masonry shop with the stone, had it in the back of my car there, and went in. I thought, I'd like to get some attention on how to either address that little crack in it, or maybe find some sort of product that I could put in there, like a mortar or something like that. And walked in. The guy behind the counter was a young guy, and I'd say probably early 30s, maybe late 20s, and he knew what I was talking about, and I could tell he didn't really have any idea. Now, granted, this is a place where they carry stone, they like limestone, fire brick, all kinds of brick and masonry products for your home. And I thought maybe, there'd be an off chance that somebody might have an idea on how to look at this. And so he and I were just chatting, and I was kind of telling him about how I bought it and stuff, and just having a little talk. And another guy walks up, and he's about my age, and he's probably in his late 40s, so he's still a kid. And anyways, he kind of interrupted to see what was going on. Now, I live it's a smaller town, right? Like it's not like a city. And I say that as the ambulance goes screaming by. But yeah, I started talking to him, and he's like, well, I said, I've got it out in my truck. Can I show it to you or bring it in? He said, no. I was like, oh, okay. He didn't even want to look at it. So I was like, okay. And, I'm willing at this point still to spend money there. And we talked for a little bit, and he's like, well, if it's limestone, which it's not, it's sandstone. He's like, if it's limestone, you take some limestone dust and water, and you just put it in there, and that's how you correct those cracks. I was like, okay, that's good to know. But I said I wasn't sure. I said, I think it's sandstone. And we talked for a little bit, and he said, well, let me go get the so-and-so from the back. And I assumed he was gonna go get an older fella that might know what the heck's going on. This guy comes out, and he was probably my age. He's an older fella. And he says, what's your problem? Or not what's your problem. He wasn't rude, but he was like trying to figure out what I was talking about. And I told him, and the next thing out of his mouth was, well, we do new stuff, we don't do old stuff. And I get that. Like, I'm not here for you to repair it. I'm just here for an idea, or maybe buy a product. And he said, well, we talked for a little bit, and I explained. I said, well, in the center of this wheel where this part goes through, it looks like there's a cement or mortar. And I again offered to show it to him. Nobody wanted to see it. And he said, well, probably just ought to pour liquid epoxy in there and you'll be fine. I mean, he was just like that. And I'm like, okay. And there's a couple other comments, and I was like, man, not run across that kind of customer service typically in our smaller town. So I told him I appreciated the talk and the information. And then right before I walked out, he said, why don't you just, have you looked it up online? Why don't you just look it up online? Okay. All right. Well, I figure somebody in my small town might know what the heck they're talking about. So I didn't want to approach Google first. So anyways, went home, and I thought, I got liquid epoxy, and I could pour it in there, and it was a warm day yesterday. It's up in the 60s, and Today's only supposed to be a high in the 40s, and I thought, man, this might be a perfect day to do this. So I put the stone up just like it is, and I was just walking over to get, I have some little syringes that I can get down in there, get that epoxy in there really well, and kind of grab the epoxy and mix it up. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to look that up online. And I'm glad I did, because about 6 years ago, I found a forum from 6 years ago that the guy had the exact same question I had and talked about using liquid epoxy. And the overall consensus was, don't do that, because sandstone, as you're using it, that grit, as it's going against the blade or whatever you're grinding, that sandstone's coming off, and that epoxy is not going to come off, so you're going to get a speed bump every time you have a rotation in that wheel. And I just sat there for a little bit, and I was like, man, I'm kind of glad I took his advice just to go home and look it up. But I was kind of just disappointed, that nobody has knowledge of stuff anymore. Like, if we can't look it up on our phones or computers or whatever, it's like, we're just kind of lost as a society. I don't know where I'm going with that. It's just a sign of the times, I guess. I remember as a kid going in hardware stores, and there'd be old guys sitting around, and there's a wealth of knowledge there. And I was telling my wife this morning, we were heading to a little town we like to go visit. It has some antique stores there, and there's a good little diner to eat breakfast at. And we were talking, and I said, I really miss that. And part of my desire to gain knowledge is so that I can share it with other people. And not that I don't even know if I'm a jack of all trades. I'm certainly a master of none, but I want to learn. I keep learning, and I want to be able to carry knowledge so that I can share it with people. And just disappointed that we're kind of moving away from that, less interaction with others and more interaction with our devices. And I know I sound like an old fuddy-duddy, but I guess that's part of getting older. You look back and maybe I don't remember everything the way it really was. Maybe I'm putting my own little positive twist on it. But anyways, so I'm not even going to work on the grinder or the chassis today. Started disassembling it last night. I may jot down some measurements. I didn't finish that last night. I've got a couple things I just want to do for myself today. I'm on call, so I can't be too far away from being able to hop out and go out into the field. So I purchased, I was at an estate sale, and I found a whole brand new barbecue set, spatula, tongs, forks, and I found a large, I don't know, you put like fillet of fish in the inside. It's like a big screen with a handle, and you can grill it or maybe cook it over a fire. And so I'm going to make a little box out of cedar for that today, put all that so I can hang it up so it'll be stored. But it's brand new. Everything was brand new, and so I picked that up in this wicker chair I'm sitting on, and a couple other pieces. It was 10 or 12 bucks, I think. So pretty cheap to get into. So I've been using all my wife's tools when I barbecue out, but that's what I'm going to work on today. Just piddle around the shop, and just wanted to share some thoughts with you. We'll continue in the series on the pedal-powered stone grinding wheel restoration here coming up. I do have some information that I want to share about one of those cross pieces that I really thought I could keep, but I'm pushing 10 minutes on this video, so I'm going to shut her down. You're going to have to wait for that. Appreciate each and every one of you watching my videos. New subscribers, smash the like button and share it if you'd like. Subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate that. Get out to your shop, try something new. Don't be afraid to fail. It's okay. It's okay. Because more often than not, you are going to succeed. Catch you on the next one. Cheers.